This is Kieran McCormick. We're here with myself and George Campbell, the Bishop Auckland Table Tennis Club. Delighted to say we've been joined this afternoon by Craig Bryant. Craig, thanks very much for joining in.
No problem, thanks for having me.
So just tell us a little bit more about yourself before we get going.
My name's Craig. I've come from Crawley in West Sussex up to the camp this week. Played table tennis for the last 23 years and I've coached professionally for the last 10 years. Playing career has spanned from England International Junior up to senior level and competed at the Commonwealth Championships. And my coaching has been, worked my way up through the various coaching levels and coach anything from beginners up to England Junior and Senior Internationals in the past,
Okay, brilliant. So can you just tell us a little bit more about what you're obviously doing today? Obviously you're coaching, so obviously you mentioned you've had a long kind of coaching career. Can you tell us what you do with the people here at the Bishop Auckland Table Tennis Club this afternoon?
Yeah, it's the week has been varied, so we tend to start off the week with various drills to improve footwork and consistency and things. We have different topics throughout the days. Today is our competition day, so it's a chance for the players to put their new skills into a competitive scenario and see if they can deal with those pressures.
And do you think that's obviously important to kind of put that kind of situation on? Because obviously it's very different when the people are just hitting a ball around for practice. Is it good to kind of put that slightly competitive edge on people after a week like this?
Yeah, I think it's been a crucial element throughout. Even though we've been working on drills throughout the week, we'll have competitive elements to that and pressure situations. As you say, if they just practice hitting the ball back and forward, they're not learning how to do that under pressure. So a crucial element,
Would you be aiming really with this camp to kind of progress table tennis as a sport? Maybe obviously this club in Bishop Auckland has grown massively over just the last couple of years or so. Would we aim to kind of maybe help that as well with the work you're doing at other camps around the country, kind of maybe build table tennis a bit more nationally as well? Because it's a bit of a growing sport at the moment.
Yeah, I think for me it's been a growing sport for the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, I've worked for Table Tennis England for the last 7 years or so, and our APS figures, which is the participation figures, has steadily improved. So it is a growing sport, but there's room for more growth, and camps like this only enhance its profile, definitely.
And have you seen an increase in participation over the last 4 or 5 years? Obviously we've got the current Olympics going on in Rio at the moment, but the London Olympics, when the main aim was, obviously the tagline was Inspire a Generation. It was to try and get more young people interested in sport. Since London, have you seen an increase personally? Yeah,
I think directly afterwards there's been a significant increase. I think like anything, time makes that sort of drop off, so the last maybe 2 or 3 years it's still increased, but maybe not at the levels that directly after the Olympics. But as I said, the social table tennis is what's really taken off in terms of participation, but we're definitely headed in the right direction.
So let's just talk a bit more about your career personally, because obviously you mentioned you got a medal at the Commonwealth Championships, which is obviously, as you've told me before, a bit different to the actual games themselves. Can you explain what it was like to kind of win that medal at the Commonwealth Championships?
Yeah, it's the Commonwealth Championships is where just table tennis takes place, so there's no other sports present. Mine was back in 2004. I was at the tender age of 18. Brilliant to be surrounded by all these top level professional athletes, and equally great to have a crack at them. Played a couple of matches in the team event, and we played against India, who we lost to in the final, unfortunately. But a great experience and something that has shaped my playing and my coaching. So it was a fantastic event, which I wouldn't swap for anything. Yeah,
obviously a fantastic experience for yourself. Was there any other kind of career highlights from yourself during your playing days, maybe even coaching as well? There's anyone you particularly worked with that you're proud to say has kind of got on to bigger things, for example?
Yeah, I mean, I've worked with a number of players that are national champions and that have played for England. I wouldn't claim that I've produced them solely, but I've like to think that I've had a part in their development, certainly. And playing, I've also played in 3 European Youth Championships, but I'd say that the Commonwealth Championships is my career highlight,
Fantastic. So just quickly before we finish things up, we're kind of being remiss to not mention what's kind of going on in Rio at the moment. Obviously we are in the middle of the Olympic Games as we're recording this. It's been a fairly successful Games just from the British athletes, particularly Paul Drinkle, who did a lot better than most people expected at these Olympics.
Yeah, I mean, I think if we look at Paul's ranking, then maybe we don't expect loads from him. But if we look at his past, he's won a Pro Tour event, which no one has in a long time. He's beaten some of the top 10 players in the world, so he's absolutely capable of doing great things, and he done that at this Games. I think he's beaten two exceptional players, and unfortunately lost out to Vladimir Samsonov, who on another day he could have absolutely beaten and then been playing for a medal potentially. So yeah, very proud to watch Paul progress through his career.
So that was in the individual tournaments. The team competition actually starts today, I believe. We're calling this on the Friday, I should say, because it's going out the Saturday. GB maybe they've got France, I believe. We just ended the first round.
Yeah.
Have they got much of a chance of doing well in this?
Absolutely, yeah. The recent World Championships, England had France in their group, and they lost. Later on, they had them in I think it was the quarterfinals. And they turned it around and won, and that was a great win, not just as a team, but some great individual performances. So they've absolutely got the armoury to beat them. It won't be easy, but yeah, the capability is there, absolutely.
Is there any chance of a medal, or is it a bit too soon for this team at this point?
I think medals will be difficult. I'm an optimist, so I like to think that they could, but I believe they've got China if they beat France, which could make things a little bit tricky.
Yeah, we all know about China's capabilities in table tennis, of course.
Yeah.
Do you think actually the far off who's getting a Great Britain table tennis medal at one of these games? Obviously, I think we usually do okay at the Commonwealths, and obviously at the Commonwealth Championship that you yourself won the medals in. Do you think there's a possibility that they could see maybe a world or Olympic champion in a couple of years, or is that still quite a bit off?
No, I don't think we're a million miles away from it. Again, if you look at ranking and consider everything on ranking, then people might say that we are, but you know, we've got other players like Liam Pitchford is, you know, a very similar level to Paul. They both compete at that level very well. And just behind them we've got Sam Walker, who I think he's just outside the top 100, but again has beaten top 20 players and is still a young player. I think he's still under 21. So certainly the future looks bright, and you know, Paul was only 1 or 2 matches away from a medal himself. So yeah, it's on the cusp, and I hope that in the near future that we'll be able to achieve that.
And hopefully one that maybe be playing today at the moment in Bishop Walton. Is it just your first time here, or how are you thinking about the club at the moment?
This is my first time here. I'm very impressed. If I had something like this when I was a kid, then I'd like to think that would have progressed me even further. To have access this often to this many tables, to this many players, to this many quality coaches is a rare thing. So it's a great opportunity for the kids in this area.
Well, we've spoken to the people from the Table Tennis Club a lot of times. It's obviously been a fantastic success, and it's great to have someone obviously of your level coaching these children during the summer holidays. That's about all the time for today, Craig, but thanks very much for joining us this afternoon.
Okay, thank you very much.